Welcome to the new CCO Brief, our short format series that gives you actionable insights in under 10 minutes. Today we spotlight a real-world case study about AI adoption at scale. I'm Elliot Mizrahi.
I'm Megan Noel. I'm the Global President of Corporate Affairs at Golan.
But this story actually starts earlier.
So prior to being at Golan, I spent 10 years at PwC running their comms function, and PwC, global accounting and consulting firm.
Megan shared that they started their AI journey with a ton of different tools, and they experimented with all of them.
We were learning a lot, and then we started to realize, really coming out of Davos 2 years ago when AI started to really catapult, that this was going to be transformational, not only across the comms team, but across business writ large.
That experimentation and that realization led to $1 billion investment in AI and resulted in a number of partnerships and collaborations with tech companies together with investments in their own infrastructure. But that on its own didn't ensure the organization's AI adoption until Megan and her team used a classic communicators tool, change management, to help transform her function and the organization.
I think what's so important and probably most interesting is an investment in upskilling at 75,000 people in AI. And so we spent a bunch of time really investing in change management around AI and what is that going to look like in HR and in finance and in audit and in consulting and in operations. And it's going to look different in every part of the organization. So from a communicator who was charged with driving not only the communications and change management of the process for my own team, but also the entire enterprise, I learned a ton. And I think a couple of things that I've now brought to Golan in my current role in advising different clients is, obviously, the tech is super important, but equally, if not more important, is the change management strategy that you're going to apply. I think a lot of employees early on were talking about this notion of job loss. I think now the conversation in a good way has evolved to productivity and efficiency and AI as your co-pilot in your journey. And then the innovation that it's going to create so that you can reinvest your time in higher value skills. Will it change the way functions work from HR to finance to marketing comms? Of course. But I think then the stuff that we used to spend a ton of time on now has just gotten shorter, and we can reinvest that time into new and different things that will add value to the organization at the higher level. And so helping an organization as complex as PwC and now with clients do that has been quite fascinating. And the lesson learned that I've taken away all along the way is focus on the tech, but equally, if not more, focus on the change management.
Yeah, I want to double click into that if I could, because, I've heard it said like an organization will spend, 10 times as much on the kind of adopting of a tool than on the tool itself, the training and integration, all that kind of stuff. And you mentioned like at least two things of the change management, one being psychological, like, is this going to put me out of work?
Yeah.
And needing people to understand how they fit in a company that's infused with AI. But the other piece is obviously all the kind of like technical, how do we build a tech stack that has all these capabilities and have the right policy framework? Can you talk about how you conceptualize what that change management journey should look like and how you implemented it?
Yeah, I think you have to take it in parts and pieces. You mentioned the policy. I love that you did that. I think first and foremost, not enough companies spend time on the responsible AI policy. It's really important to not only build trust with your employees, but build trust with your entire stakeholder group of how you are approaching AI, especially as new regulations are starting to pop up across the country and across the world. That policy and framework for how you will mitigate risk management, how you will drive tech buying approaches, but equally and important, how you will infuse this and how you won't across your organization, especially for those organizations like PwC or JP Morgan or many others that are handling confidential data on behalf of their clients. It's super important to have that policy right from the start. Then I think you have to look at what are the changes that are going to take place across the organization. What is the technology implementation going to look like? What are the people and organizational changes and the ways of working changes that you're going to want? And then ultimately, what are the goals that you want to come out of that? Not only hard KPIs of productivity, efficiency, changes in ways of working, but equally I would say the soft KPIs of how does this change how we interact with each other? How do we start to think about our jobs differently? I started my career faxing press releases. Well, certainly I'm not doing that now. And it's been kind of fun mid-career to have a total democratization of learning and learn alongside my juniors at the same time of how AI is going to change our job in the future. And I think every organization is going through that. And I think each organization has to look at their business model and then make those decisions themselves. But going along that entire journey is critical. Another example I'll use on internal, and this goes to scaling. When I was at PwC, 75,000 people were a part of our employee base. They're not monolithic, right? They are sort of unique and have their own audience and employee personas. We used AI to supercharge how we do internal newsletters. So instead of all 75,000 people getting the same newsletter, we actually were able to do 75,000 different newsletters powered by AI and technology. So Megan got her own newsletter on information that mattered to her. If Mike and Dan were at the organization, they would get their own. And it was all done by technology and AI that then powered that custom newsletter. So it can be applied in so many different ways, from strategy to execution, to be able to bring to life.
And there you have it. AI isn't just a tool. It's an opportunity for communicators to lead business transformation. As Megan explained, successful AI strategies aren't just about technology. They're about changing the organization, and that's where communicators excel. CCOs understand the complexities of aligning employees, building trust, and shaping strategy across the organization. AI adoption needs that same skill set. Those who lean in now, who define how AI is integrated rather than waiting for it to be imposed, will ensure that their organizations and their communications function stays ahead of the curve. This has been the new CCO Brief. I'm Elliot Mizrahi. We'll see you next time.